Hi folks, and welcome back to the Grumpy Gamer channel. That's it, you guessed it. This is that channel we get to see this old git talk about modern games. Well, for today's in-car comments then, I wanted to talk about a subject that, oh dear, this is going to be a difficult one because games and video games and the link with violent behavior. Now, I'm sure you all know that very sadly, tragically, Charlie Kirk was assassinated last week. I don't want to go too much into that, other than it's affected people worldwide, especially in the West. And to be honest, it massively affected me. It affected my son. He was massively affected by it. Just awful, dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. Now, apparently, allegedly, on one of the bullets he just inscribed different things on different bullets, but the three they found that had been unfired, on one of the casings, it had a stratagem input for the game, or supposedly a stratagem input from the game Helldivers 2. So apparently, I think it had a down, down, right, down, 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 or something like that, up, down, right. It's the input for apparently the 500 kg Eagle Strike bomb. So because of that, because apparently this guy inscribed on one of the bullets this stratagem input, then oh my God, the whole world goes mental. Well, the gaming world goes mental. People are calling for this game to be pulled and cancelled, and which is just utter craziness to me, because one lunatic with a gun inscribe something on a bullet, a game that's absolutely not linked in any way, shape or form, other than what this maniac inscribed on a bullet, should be taken down. And so it sparked the whole debate yet again of violence being linked to video games, that sort of thing. Now, if you really think there's someone playing a third-person shooter that's going to go and make them assassinate someone, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just absolute craziness. There have been many calls since the 90s. I remember back in 1990, whatever it was, crikey, early 90s with Mortal Kombat. There were talks in Parliament and in government in America, and they were trying to get this game taken down, and they were saying that there's a link between video games and violence, real world violence. Well, there have been so many studies done over the years, and every single one of them has found absolutely no link with video game violence and real world violence. It just, there's no link. To me, if you're going to go and be violent after playing a video game, the video game hasn't made you violent. You already are. Just want to put that one out there. You're already, a bit cuckoo if you play a game and then go, do you know what? I want to go out and hurt somebody now. No, like I say, there's never been any links to it. But with this, what's happening now, Arrowhead, I haven't seen any statement by Arrowhead, the developers of the game, but supposedly they're coming out with a statement about it. And I feel sorry for these guys, because they've got to be thinking, what? This has nothing to do with us. We make a game where you're on a different planet shooting bugs and robots. Okay? Shooting bugs and robots. Where's the link between that and real world politics and real world violence? I have never, in nearly 50 years of playing video games, wanted to go and beat somebody up, shoot somebody. Never. It's never been an urge for me, ever, ever. So like I say, if you're being violent and you're trying to say it's video games, no, it's not. You need to look closer to home. It's within you. You've got to be clearly unstable if you go out and hurt people after playing video games. And why this game, it's not exactly the world's most violent game, and it's not tied to this world. It's all fantasy stuff. Look at Grand Theft Auto, for heaven's sake. That's basically more like real world, because it's meant to be more true to life. You're running around a city and you cause absolute mayhem in that game. You can run grannies over, blow people up with bazookas. You can do it, and they're supposed to be people, not bugs, not robots. But do you see people going round killing people because they've played GTA? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard of one instance of someone going, oh, the video game made me do it. No, it doesn't happen. Normally what happens is someone goes out and says, God made me do it, if anything. Yeah, God was talking to me. God told me to do it. That's what you hear 9 times out of 10. So should we ban the Bible now then? Should we do that? Because no, we just know that that's a crazy nutter and they need to be put away. Simple as that. I mean, I don't know. You let me know what you think on this, folks. Let me know your thoughts with the link or supposed link between video game violence and real world violence. I'll tell you one thing though, I will say that for the first couple of days after the shooting, I went in, I think on the second day after, I went in to play Tactical Assault VR. Now, obviously I use a gun stock, and I went in there and I have to admit, I had to stop playing it because it just felt really weird. I think because those images of Charlie were still in my head vividly. How could they not be? To then go into a game and start shooting people with a gun that I'm holding, you know, I've got the gun stock in my hands. It just, I know that might sound a bit crazy, but it made me feel a bit weird. So I stopped playing it for a couple of days. I didn't want to play it. It just made me feel a bit weird. Again, let me know, did you find anything like this after this awful event? Did it make you feel a bit weird if you were playing in VR and you were playing a shooter? Maybe it's just me, but yeah, I couldn't play it for a couple of days. Like I say, I know it's affected a lot of people around the world. And I know that there's thousands of people now losing their jobs because they've said some horrific things about the assassination online, and they're being cancelled and they're losing their jobs and all that sort of thing. And you know, a lot of people, rightly so, they're cheering that on. They are cheering that on, that these people should lose their jobs. But it just dawned on me that, hang on a second, Charlie was exercising his free speech. He had his right to do that. Now, when it comes to free speech in England, well, this is a real, like, hot contention at the minute. It really is, because we're losing our free speech in this country. We're getting put in prison for saying hurty words on Facebook. Literally, people are getting put in prison. So, you know, with these people who are losing their jobs because of what they've said, they should also be allowed to say these things. That's free speech. At the end of the day, free speech is not, it doesn't mean that you can say what you like. It means you're allowed to say what others don't like. That's what free speech is all about. So these people being, you know, just saying the most horrible things about Charlie and his family and celebrating and all that sort of thing. In a world of free speech, they are allowed to say those things. However, like many say, you can say what you like, but remember, with words there are consequences. And unfortunately, wrongly, people took it to way too far with Charlie. But these other people are finding out, yep, there's consequences for your words too. You know, you've lost your job because you're being a scumbag, absolute scumbag. These are just my thoughts, folks. These are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Yeah, but I wasn't sure whether I was going to make this video or not, but I thought it was important we talk about, you know, this violent video games and if there's any sort of link with violence in real life, which, like I say, has been proven many times that isn't the case, but people are jumping back on this bandwagon again after these recent events. Now, before I go, I just want to mention one thing. Last week I said about Tactical Assault VR in my last video, and that I was in a mission, I managed to kill all the bad guys, I'd collected the intel, and then the hostages were just kneeling down with their arms in the air, and I could not get them to move. I'd press the button to say, hey, follow me. Nothing would happen. And the game at the minute doesn't, or I couldn't find any instructions on what to do at that point. So they just wouldn't move, so I'd failed the mission. We finally found out last night what you have to do is actually grab the wrists of the hostages, put them behind their back, then pull the triggers, and it instantly cable ties them up. I didn't know that. I hadn't seen that anywhere. But if anybody else is stuck on these new missions and you're finding you're stuck at that point, it's all you've got to do. Reach up, grab their wrists, pull their arms behind their back, pull the triggers, and you'll cable tie them up. Once you've cable tied them all up, then you're fine. You'll finish the mission. But I just thought I'd throw that one in there just in case anybody else was as dumb as me and I couldn't figure it out initially. Anyway, that's it for me from me today, folks. I hope you have a fantastic day. Please stay safe. And until next time, I shall see you guys on the other side. Adios.